there you are. Nessiara, your betrothed has returned.
I'll be right there.
Thank you. For me, for Saurus, for everything. I'll never be able to repay you. Well, I'll leave you two alone.
Thank you, Valora. So, I guess you don't have to get married after all,
We both looked out, didn't we?
Still an ass. Your friend seems to be recovering. I'll let you two... Well... Goodbye.
Well... I didn't leave on the most friendly terms.
You took all the responsibility for what happened. You're amazing, you know that?
How are you holding up?
I'm all right. As far as the others know, Vaughn just roughed me up a bit. I just don't want them treating me like some fragile doll. I love you, cousin. Make us proud out there.
Enough with the mushy stuff.
Silly man. Then get going already.
Onwards! To adventure, excitement, and me dying multiple times as I attempt to beat this game. This is taking a whole lot longer than I thought it would. And the chainmail sound effects. Oy vey. Hello.
Are you ready to go?
I am.
Good. Then we leave for Ostagar immediately.
You should have totally heard in the way I talked to my former betrothed. It was hilarious.
We will be traveling south through the hinterlands to the ruin of Ostagar, on the edges of the Korkari Wilds. The Tevinter Imperium built Ostagar long ago to prevent the Wilders from invading the northern lowlands. It's fitting we make our stand here, even if we face a different foe within that forest. The King's forces have clashed with the Darkspawn several times, but here is where the bulk of the Horde will show itself. There are only a few Grey Wardens within Ferelden at the moment, but all of us are here. This blight must be stopped, here and now. If it spreads to the north, Ferelden will fall.
Ho there, Duncan.
King Kalen, I didn't expect
A royal welcome? I was beginning to worry you'd miss all the fun.
Not if I could help it, Your Majesty.
Then I'll have the mighty Duncan at my side in battle after all. Glorious. The other wardens told me you'd found a promising recruit. I take it this is he?
Allow me to introduce you, Your Majesty.
There's no need to be so formal, Duncan. We'll be shedding blood together after all. Ho there, friend. Might I know your name?
I am Hector, Your Majesty.
Pleased to meet you. The Grey Wardens are desperate to bolster their numbers, and I, for one, am glad to help them. I see you're an elf, friend. From where do you hail?
City of Denram.
As do I. Though I've not been in the palace for some time. Do you come from the alienage? Tell me, how is it there? My guards all but forbid me going there.
I killed an Orl's son for raping my friend.
You... what?
Your Majesty, I would not have put it so bluntly. There are events in Denerim you should be aware of.
So it seems. I will hear more about this matter later. For now, we have a war to attend to. Allow me to be the first to welcome you to Ostagar. The Wardens will benefit greatly with you in their ranks.
We'll see about that.
I'm sorry to cut this short, but I should return to my tent. Loghain waits eagerly to bore me with his strategies.
Your uncle sends his greetings and reminds you that Redcliffe forces could be here in less than a week.
Ha! Eamon just wants in on the glory. We've won 3 battles against these monsters, and tomorrow should be no different.
You sound very confident of that.
Overconfident, some would say. Right, Duncan?
Your Majesty, I'm not certain the Blight can be ended quite as quickly as you might wish.
I'm not even sure this is a true blight. There are plenty of Darkspawn on the field, but alas, we've seen no sign of an archdemon.
Disappointed, Your Majesty?
I'd hoped for a war like in the tales. A king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. But I suppose this will have to do. I must go before Loghain sends out a search party. Farewell, Grey Wardens.
What the king said is true. They've won several battles against the Darkspawn here.
Didn't seem to take the Darkspawn very seriously.
True. Despite the victory so far, the Darkspawn horde grows larger with each passing day. By now, they look to outnumber us. I know there is an archdemon behind this, but I cannot ask the king to act solely on my feeling.
And maybe we should move quickly.
Yes, we should proceed with the ritual.
What do you mean? What ritual?
Every recruit must go through a secret ritual we call the Joining in order to become a Grey Warden. The ritual is brief, but some preparation is required. We must begin soon.
Wonderful. Let's get this over with then.
Feel free to explore the camp here as you wish. All I ask is that you do not leave it for the time being. There is another Grey Warden in the camp by the name of Alistair. When you're ready, seek him out and tell him it's time to summon the other recruits. Until then, I have business I must attend to. You may find me at the Grey Warden tent on the other side of this bridge, should you need to.
And thus, we arrive at Ostagar. The Kokari Wilds. It is said that in the midst of the Black Age, when werewolves stalked the lands of Ferelden in numbers that kept every farmholder indoors and a hound on every doorstep, a powerful Arl of the Alamari peoples stood and declared that he would put an end to the threat. His Arling stood on the border of the Dark Forest on the southern border of the Ferelden Valley, and he claimed that the werewolves used the forest to launch their midnight assaults on humanity. For 20 years, this Arl led an army of warriors and hounds deep into the forest. In his hunt for the werewolves, he slew not only every wolf he came upon, but also every member of the Chase and Wilder folk. Any one of them, he said, could harbor a demon inside and thus be a werewolf in disguise. For 20 years, the forest rang with screams and the rivers ran red. The tales say that an old chastened woman found her sons all dead at the Arl's blades. She pulled one of those very blades from one son's heart and plunged it into her own chest, cursing the Arl's name as she did so. Where her blood touched the ground, a mist began to rise. It spread and spread until it was everywhere in the forest. The Arl's army became lost, and it is said that they died there. Others say they wander still. The ruins of his Arling stand to this day, filled with the ghosts of women, waiting eternally for their husbands to return. The forest of the legend is, of course, the Kokari Wilds. There is many legends about the great southern forest as there are shadows, or so the saying goes. Chase and Wilder folk have made their home there since mankind first came to these lands, and the wildlands spread as far into the south as anyone has ventured. Beyond the mists are vast tracts of snow, white-capped mountains, and entire fields of ice. It is a land too cold for mankind to survive, yet the Chasen eke out an existence even there, and they tell of horrors beyond the wilds that the lowland folk could not begin to comprehend. To most, Ferelden simply ends with the Kokari Wilds. There's nothing beyond. The wilds is a land of great trees, wet marshes, and dangerous monsters. What more need be said? From Land of the Wilders, by Mother Alice, Chantry Scholar, 918 Dragon. In darkness eternal they searched for those who would go to them on, until at last they found their prize, their god, their betrayer, the sleeping dragon Numat. Their taint twisted even the false god, and the whisper awoke at last, in pain and horror, and led them to wreak havoc upon all the nations of the world with the first blight. They were known as 8-7. False dragon gods of the Tevinter Imperium lie buried deep within the earth, where they have been imprisoned since the Maker cast them down. No one knows what it is that drives the Darkspawn in their relentless search for the sleeping old gods. Perhaps it is instinct, as moths will fly into torch flames. Perhaps there is some remnant of desire for vengeance upon the ones who go to the Magisters to assault heaven. Whatever the reason, when the Darkspawn find one of these ancient dragons, it is immediately afflicted by the taint. It awakens, twisted and corrupted, and leads the Darkspawn in a full-scale invasion of the land of Blight. I'd hoped for a war like in the tales, a king riding with the fabled Grey Wardens against a tainted god. Son of the legendary King Merrick Theron, Cailan was the first Ferelden king, born into a land free from foreign rule in 2 generations. Since his father's death, he's held the throne alongside his queen Enora. It takes more than legends to win a battle. Loghain was born a farmer during a time when his country was under foreign occupation. When he was still a boy, he joined the resistance, where his considerable tactical genius quickly became apparent. He became close friends with Prince Merrick, the last true heir to the Ferelden throne, and together they led the rebels to drive out the forces of the Elysian Empire. Merrick raised his friend to the nobility, and Loghain is now more of a symbol than a man. He represents the Ferelden ideals of hard work and independence. And so, with that large bit of info dump, I leave you, because I believe this is as good a place to stop as any, and it is where I stopped last time I attempted to record this. So, thank you for watching, and have a great day.